Hey, so in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about turning 17. Couple weeks back, I turned 17, so I'm no longer a 16-year-old Jake, I'm a 17-year-old Jake. But this birthday, it was a bit heavier. Hit a bit different per se. Compared to my previous birthdays, the 12, 13, 14, 15. It was more serious. It was different. It was an interesting one. And it brought me a lot of valuable lessons and insights. A lot of things that I think everyone can use. So I'd like to share it with you here today. Because this is stuff that, I wouldn't expect that I'd learn it on a birthday, but I did, and it's valuable. So why not share? It's a valuable experience, and it's a once in a lifetime. You only turn 17 once, right? So once in a lifetime. Anyway, let's get right into it. So as I said, turning 17, it felt different than the last ones. It hit a bit harder per se. And that doesn't mean that any of the birthdays were bad or good, or this one, or not good, just bad. I don't mean that any of the birthdays were bad. They were all good. They were all great. And this one included. Nothing bad ever happened. And I'm thankful for that every single year. I'm grateful every single year that I get a good birthday and another year on my life. But this one was more serious per se. It was just different because this is my last year to be a kid. Legally. And society expects a certain thing once you're 18, once you're beyond that. Of course, still, I mean, you look at an 18-year-old and you could say they're still kind of a kid. But legally, there's just there's new stuff. I know that once we hit 14, we get like a couple things like a learner's license and all that. Once we hit 16, we get the actual license. That's about it. But then once you hit 18, you're an adult. So you got the whole world now. You got everything. You got everything to do, all the potential here. You're free. Not free, like you've been enslaved by your parents, but you're a man, you're a woman. Now you get to go on and do it yourself. That doesn't mean your parents will abandon you, but, it's serious because now you're an adult. The people you've looked up to, you're one of them now. That's serious in a way. And that kind of, it made me think about myself. Reflect a lot about myself and who I am, who I'm becoming. And it was funny because I never expected it. I never have experienced this on previous birthdays. I've never run into this thing where I've done like such deep reflection come a birthday. I reflect on myself, when New Year's comes around and birthdays come around, but I've never done it this much. I've never done it this hard. Never. And I didn't expect it. Like, I actually thought that I was going to turn 17 and, it would be good, but it would, it just wouldn't be too serious. It would be serious, of course, but it wouldn't be too serious. But no, I was taken off guard. It was quite serious. It really had me thinking and reflecting on myself. It just took me right off guard. What can I say? It almost had an element of fear. It's like stress and fear in a way. I wasn't afraid of turning 17. This is not a phobia, but it's like I had this dreadful feeling, that it's my last year as a kid. So the clock's ticking now. And before I had all those other birthdays and I could look forward to 2 years, to 3 more years, to 4 more years, 5 more years. I could look forward to years, but now I'm looking forward to 1 year. At the moment of this recording, it's something like 340 days, 335. I actually put a background on my phone that does the countdown. So now I've just got a countdown to my birthday. It's to remind me of how long I've got. And we say that like I'm going to die, but I'm not going to die. Nothing really bad's going to happen. It's just there for effect. What can you say? But still, it's just serious, and it's a little scary in a way. Just a little bit. And you might know what I'm talking about, because I know that, there's people who watch this who aren't 18. There's people who are over 18. So if you're one of those people who has already done all this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Turning 17 and just watching the clock tick, you know the exact feeling, I'm sure of it. And for those of you who don't know it, well, that you'll know it one day. You'll know it one day. That doesn't mean this is going to be invalid or useless information that I'm going to give you, but you'll understand just like the fearful feeling one day. It's not really fear, but it's some form of fear and anxiousness and stress. It's weird, but it's there, and you never expect it. Through all that stress and all that fear, though, and self-reflection, I really changed a lot. Not too much, but I changed more than you'd expect, and I learned more than I could have ever anticipated, more than I could have ever guessed. So I think it was a valuable birthday with a lot of things to learn. And to put those things in proper words, the things that I learned, the things going through my head, it was mostly, I'd ask myself a couple questions, and they'd mostly be, am I enjoying my life right now? Enjoying my life right now with what I got, with who I am? Am I doing what I want to do? Getting what I want? Am I doing all that? Am I working towards that? And am I working towards my future self specifically? The Jake that I envision. Am I working towards that? Coming up to my birthday, that was basically just verbatim going through my head. That was all that was going through my head. Asking myself, am I enjoying my life? Am I doing the right thing? Am I being the right Jake? Am I working towards that version of the best Jake? I just kept thinking about all this, and I came to many conclusions about each and every single one of them. Each that have changed me. At least I believe they've changed me in many different ways. At least my outlook on life, they've changed. Not in a bad way. It's not like life has been ruined. No. This is good. This is a good way. Changed my outlook on being 17, on being a kid, on being a teenager, then on being an adult, on being 18, working on my future. It changed my outlook on everything, on all that stuff. And I think that's a positive thing. I think it has been. I really do. It's helped me more than it's damaged me, so far at least. So I like it. I'm thankful. And to put those into words, I notice when I ask myself those questions, am I working towards the things I want? Am I doing what I want? Am I getting after the stuff that I want? Asking myself all those things, I figured I'm slacking on a couple things. I'm doing a few things I don't enjoy. I'm sometimes sacrificing my childhood and also sacrificing my adulthood at the same time. I noticed all these different things. And it's not like I was doing stuff horribly. It wasn't like I was becoming a bad person or, I was just lazy and everything's bad and I'm going nowhere. But it's to say that at certain points, I'm too much of a kid. At certain points, I'm too much of an adult. At certain points, I'm doing something that, in retrospect, I do not enjoy. At certain points, I just don't work towards what I want. And specifically, I noticed that, funny enough, this is the prime example that came up, was I slacked on guitar. I noticed that instantly, because I've been a little busy with school. So the first thing I noticed, asking myself all that stuff, was guitar. And now looking back, I slacked on guitar for weeks. I was actually making good progress, and then I took a break, and I just didn't get back on it. And I didn't even notice it. And I asked myself that question, am I doing what I want? Am I working towards what I want? And the first thing that popped up in my mind was guitar. I'm slacking on guitar. And I'm doing things that I don't enjoy, so why don't I replace that with guitar? Boom. So it wasn't like I was slacking on school and I was failing. But I was slacking on guitar and failing. So different levels of seriousness, but still something to be fixed. Still something to improve upon in self-reflection. So, and that's just the first thing that came to mind. So many other things came, especially this other one. I sometimes sacrifice my childhood to work on the future, but then I sometimes sacrifice the future to live in the moment as a child. And that one hit particularly hard because it's my last year as a kid. So this is my last year of childhood. How am I going to live it? Am I going to live it full, or am I going to live it half? Am I going to live it no? And that one was hard to that one was hard to answer, because I noticed I slack on my childhood, but I slack on my future too. So how do I get around it? And eventually, I came to conclusions on how to live my life to enjoy being a kid and also work to my future. We don't have to go into how I'm going to do it. But the point is that I figured out I sometimes live in the moment too much, but then on other times, I don't live in it enough. Many, many, many things came to mind. Many, many, many things became apparent to me. And it made me create some form of a bucket list, per se. A bucket list for my 17-year-old self to work on. And the bucket list dies at 18. So now I'm going to try to get all those things that I want to do with my last year being a kid. I'm going to get all those things done by 18. That's the bucket list. That's the bucket list. And it's sometimes ridiculous stuff, like beating a video game. Because the way I'm thinking about it is, I'm not going to be a kid forever. I've got a year left. Kids play games, and I'm going to be expected to do different things as an adult. I'm going to have different responsibilities. So while I have this time, I should beat that game before I can't really do it again. And that's not to say I'll never get a chance to play video games ever. Like, it's over after you're 18. No, that's not true. But it's to say that I'm going to cram all those things. Not going to only play video games for the rest of the year, but I'm going to make sure that I take out those things that I don't enjoy and replace it with something like that, which I can enjoy. Replace it with something that works on my bucket list and gets those video games off my list. And of course, it isn't just video games, but that's like the most childish example per se, because kids play video games. So I'm gonna live my last year as a kid playing some games, and I got to do all my serious stuff too. But I'm gonna play some games. I guarantee you that much. And so far, the bucket list has worked extremely well. Extremely well. I know it's only been a couple weeks since my birthday, but it's been great. It's been great. Because I'm not doing as much useless stuff, as much stuff that I don't enjoy. I'm not doing all that. I'm doing what I want. I'm becoming who I want. I'm becoming the Jake I envision. I'm becoming that guy. I'm not doing all this stuff that wastes my time. Even if it's something as minuscule as a video game. If I want to beat that game at some point in my life, this is the moment, so I'm going to beat it. If I want to learn a guitar at some point in my life, this is the moment. I'm going to learn it. If I want to make something at some point in my life, this is the moment. I'm going to make it. That's what this year is for. That's what this birthday has taught me. And it takes a bit of, it takes a good amount of thinking and reflecting, personal reflection, but you'll get there. After a few days at least, I'm sure of it. That's how it was for me. And that's my challenge for you, funny enough. I just want you to do a little bit of reflection. Just ask yourself, are you enjoying your life? Are you enjoying all the questions that I ask? Are you enjoying your life? Are you enjoying what you're doing? Are you working towards what you want? Are you working towards who you want to become? Are you doing all that? Because most of the time we don't even notice it until we ask those questions. At least that's how it was for me. So my challenge is just ask those questions. Ask those questions at the end of today. Just do it, and I'm sure that this will help you. Make a little bucket list too while you're at it for your next year self, or the maybe New Year's, or maybe next week, next month. Make something. Just something. I'm sure it will help you a ton, just as it has with me. Because now I'm living the best Jake that I have. The best life that I have. Oh, my dogs are screaming, sorry. But we're almost done. Point is, I'm living the best life I have so far in the few weeks that I have. And now I can live being a kid, counting each and every day and enjoying each and every moment. Live this last year as a kid, but work towards being an adult and enjoy every last bit. Either way, I hope this helps you a ton, my friend. This is a lesson that's taken, well, it didn't really take long to learn, but in a way it did. It took me 17 years, technically. But still, it was a valuable lesson nevertheless. This is something that I didn't expect at all. But it showed up. This is what it taught me. And I enjoy it. So, and I think it's valuable. So I hope that it helps you a ton. Take care, my friend.